We may not think we can help everyone we meet, but each of us, in our own way, can do something in our power to help others, whether it's a gift of cash to an individual or to a charitable institution. If our abundance of cash is less than we would like it to be, we can contribute our time. We can help serve meals at shelters. We can offer our services to churches by volunteering our time. We can adopt a student and be a mentor. We can read books to children and expand their horizons and teach them, as Auntie Mame did, to open a new window. Recently, I saw a news story on the television news that talked about how people who didn't watch television were happier overall than those who spent a lot of time watching TV. Ironically, one of the reporters said at the conclusion of the story, "Why did we run that story?" Again, we're reminded that our television diet, that is, what programs we choose to watch, plays a major part in how we create our own personal universe. Sadly, the past 8 years have been fraught with fear-mongering. The country as a whole, and we as individuals, have been bombarded with the possibility of potential disaster, fear, and the threat of devastation. So today I want to suggest that you take a look at your television diet and see if what you watch is contributing to the celebration of the God within you, enriching your life, or is it creating and building thoughts of fear and depression in your life? Again, you might need to be reminded to turn off the television and go out and do something for yourself or others. Play a game or read a book. I saw a fascinating animated film on DVD this past week entitled Persepolis. It's the story of an Iranian girl growing up over the past 30 or 40 years in Iran, and tells of her trials and tribulations as she grows up and responds to the turmoil around her. It's not an easy film to watch, but it gave me a much deeper understanding of Iranian culture, their lives, and their values. The origin of the film came from four comic books she had written about her life and experiences in an oppressed country. And as people read them and passed them on to others, a French film producer had the idea to create a film putting together the story of her life, which was then shown at the Cannes Film Festival in 2007. I doubt she expected to create a film when she began writing the comic books, but she, in her own way, was someone special who made a difference in the world. Each one of us is special in our own way. We each have the ability to make a difference in our own world. Whether we're teaching others how to cook, creating a new recipe, setting new Olympic records like Michael Phelps, or finding a cure for a disease, or inspiring others to do something great, we each have a unique set of attributes and qualities that make us individuals and unique in our own way, just like the snowflakes. You are special. You know you're special. If you've forgotten how special you are, take a moment to take a personal inventory of all your qualities. Maybe take the time to write them down if you're not convinced. I remember an incident in an 8th grade English class. Our teacher, Miss Evans, who was also my Latin teacher, was showing us how to diagram a sentence on the board. As she pointed to each word, she asked us to identify the type of word it was in the sentence. She came to the word who and asked what it was. I don't recall whether anyone else raised their hand, but I raised my hand, which was unusual because I didn't often volunteer to participate. With great authority, I answered, "It's a relative pronoun." That's a day when I wish I had had a camera to capture the expression on her face. Her jaw dropped, and class was momentarily halted while she took a moment to recover. I went on to say that I knew that because quod in Latin meant who, and it was on page 57 of our Latin textbook. She responded by saying that she would have been satisfied by my saying that it was simply a pronoun. But the fact that I knew that it was a relative pronoun shocked her. Hopefully, it was an indication to her that I actually was learning something and that she was actually having an effect on my education. In fact, I enjoyed Latin and am fortunate to have taken it in school. I imagine that we all have similar stories, either where something led us to realize that whatever effort we were putting into some task, such as teaching another, was actually paying off, or where we demonstrated that someone else's effort paid off, where we were learning from someone else. It's those special moments in life that show us that we have purpose and that our efforts are not wasted. I'm sure you have a similar story in your history. Recently, Oprah did a program on the Blue Zones, which are places in the world where people commonly live to be over 100 years old. One of the attributes associated with longevity, along with ample exercise and a balanced diet, was having purpose to get up each day. It really doesn't matter what your purpose is, whether it's teaching, healing, or serving others in some way. But each one of us needs a good reason to get out of bed each morning with something to look forward to so that we're doing something and our minds are busy. The fantastic part of this is that you get to choose whatever it is that you want to do. You get to choose your own purpose in life. Of course, if you don't choose something, you may find that God, life, or life circumstances make that choice for you. Choose your purpose and do whatever it is that makes you feel good, helps others, and doesn't hurt anyone else in the process. Remember the verse from Matthew chapter 6, verse 26 that says, "Observe the birds of the sky, for they do not sow, neither do they harvest nor gather into barns, and yet your Father in heaven feeds them. Are you not more important than they? Of course you are. You are special." And finally, from Matthew chapter 6, verse 33, "Seek ye first the kingdom of God and his righteousness, and all these things shall be added to you." This year, choose to have a wonderful Christmas season, whether you're celebrating Hanukkah, Christmas, or Kwanzaa, everyone. Thank you for your attention this morning. Join me now in the acceptance statement. Now, may the light illumine our minds with wisdom. May love fill our heart with understanding. May the one life shine forth from our innermost being so that we walk renewed in light, life, love, today, tomorrow, and forever.